Hello, welcome back to the second episode of A Woman Developing, and today I have my 21-year-old, and it is...
Hi, my name is Anoush, and as of today, I'm 21 years old.
Yep, so let's get into it. So we're just going to get into it. So question one, looking at the past decade in your life, how have you changed?
I think how I've changed the most is I definitely used to live a life that was very black and white, and I refused to live in the gray zone, and I just don't think that's healthy. You know, I think that life needs a good balance, and so I kind of took that and put that balance into all aspects of my life, whether it be school, social life, my health, my family, my fitness, all of that. It just needs the balance for it to be healthy, and so it's okay if one day you want to do this and not do this. Just make sure it all evens out in the end.
Okay. So our second question is, what self-doubts or struggles do you have often?
I think I don't have any self-doubts because I trust myself, and I really think that success is inevitably for me in the future. I think what I struggle with is the aspect of patience. I just want everything to happen now. I want to be at my dream job now. I want to start making money now. And it struggles with the fact that you can't pray for patience because God has to test it. So I think I just struggle with the patience aspect and understanding that everything's going to fall in place, and I just have to remind myself of that daily.
Yeah, patience is like...
Patience is a virtue.
Oh yeah, definitely something I definitely have learned, but... something that
it's
comes
tough.
with time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just gotta trust the process. So I trust myself and all that's destined for me. I think that my whole potential is already inside me, so I trust that my future is going to be bright and it awaits me. I just have to let time play its part and be patient.
Question 3, what is something that you have learned in your 20s?
Thing that I definitely learned in my 20s is that you can work your ass off for something and still not get it, and that's okay. You cannot control every situation, and what I learned is that some of it may be cheesy. I may be bringing up like very popular quotes, but I feel that the older you get, you read so many quotes and lines and stories and books, and you don't really resonate with them. But that's something that really resonated with me, is that you really cannot control every situation. You can really only control how you react. So I think something that I learned is, you can work really, really hard for something. You can work, 10 hours a day on a paper. You can do all the research, or you can put in all the time, all the effort, and still not get the outcome you want. But how you respond to that is what's truly important. Are you going to let that discourage you for the next time? Are you going to take that negative energy into what you do next? Are you going to let that get down on yourself? Are you going to start being filled with self-doubt? You can't let that stuff happen. You have to take it and roll with it and move on. So I think what I really learned is you really can't control anything except how you respond.
Question 4. It's one of my favorite questions.
Oh.
But what social stigma about women does society need to get over?
So I think that a really big social stigma right now, or a popular trend, is like the idea of a baddie or a bad, B-I-T-C-H. And I think a lot of people associate that term with a baddie as someone whose Instagram or Twitter is filled with like beautiful pictures of themselves, and they have like the big boobs or the big butt, or like the bikini pics, or the nice clothes, or the nice purse, or the designer bag. And I think that's how people associate what a baddie is. Mm-hmm. But I think a real baddie is somebody who goes after their goals, works hard for their ish, PG, doesn't let anyone like affect their happiness, grinds on their own stuff, is kind to others. I think a real baddie is somebody who inspires people, who works hard for what they want, who's kind. Like, you're a baddie whether you know it or not. So you don't need Instagram full of pictures. You don't need clear skin. You don't need any of that stuff. And I think the social stigma today is, oh, you're a bad bee because you dress a certain way, you look a certain way. I think a lot of things with women in society is so surface level, and I really think that that's not what really makes a bad bee. I think ambition and someone who works hard, that's a bad bee. You're a bad bee.
You're a bad bee.
You're a baddie. Look at us fat bees. Low-key coordinating with the outfits.
This was not planned.
No, it wasn't planned. Great minds think alike, though. So.
Number 5, any regrets in your 20s?
See, if you would have asked me this question, honestly, a year ago, I would have probably given you maybe 5 to 10 things that I would have regret, but I don't know if it's because I've had this time to reflect during quarantine and coronavirus, but at this point in my life, I don't regret a single thing. I don't regret a crush on a boy that I used to like. I don't regret choosing the sport of basketball, transitioning to track, and then wishing that I would have actually went back to basketball. I don't regret the career path I chose. I don't regret going to a school, having it not work out, coming back home. Like I said earlier, how some things may be cheesy, like bringing up quotes and common things. It's really true, though, that I don't regret anything because they have each and every experience that I've been through, good, bad, ugly, pretty. It was a learning lesson and an experience. So I don't regret a single thing in my life because it has shaped me for who I am today. It has helped me learn lessons that maybe I didn't want to learn, but you grow through what you go through. Mm-hmm. And so I don't regret anything. I'm thankful for the best lessons and the worst lessons. So no regrets.
Get it tattooed. I said that in my video.
I honestly think the only thing that I regret, but it's kind of small, but it does resonate in my mind a lot, is I regret not eating certain things. There was a time in my life where I would be at a social event and there would be like beautiful food out and delicious, and I really wanted some, but I was, too worried about the way I looked to eat a fun food. And I look back on that, I'm like, that's so ridiculous. Live your life, eat the damn cupcake, you'll get on whatever health streak you want to be on the next day. It's not that serious, eat pretty food, feel pretty. So it's no big deal. So you are what you eat. So
question 6, what advice would you give women watching this?
I think the advice that I would give you, because I always give myself, is keep it real. Keep it real if you're going to keep it real with anybody, keep it real with yourself. Don't throw yourself pity parties. Don't make excuses for yourself. Don't BS anything. Don't force yourself to like something that you don't actually like, or don't convince yourself that you need a certain person when you don't. Always keep it real with yourself. You don't always have to keep it real physically. Like, change what you want with your body to make you happy, but internally and mentally, you got to keep it real, always. Okay. Keep it honest and open with yourself. Maybe not others, because sometimes they can't handle it. With yourself, you've got to be authentic all the time. You got to look in the mirror, and whether it makes you happy or not, whether you want to hear it, you need to tell yourself the things that even you don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm. And last question, what is something you want to accomplish before you turn 30?
So I just turned 21, and I told my friends earlier that all I wanted for my birthday was to start emulating the meaning of my name in my everyday life. So the meaning of Anoush means sweet and kind. And so by the time I turn 30, I want people to, not that I care what people think, but if people were to talk about me with me not being there, I would want them to put however they feel about my body or my looks aside and say, that is a sweet and kind person. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be spicy and stern when I need to be. All I'm saying is that I do want to be sweeter and kinder every day, and I want people to talk about me and say, if my name gets brought up in conversation, I would want them to say, Anoush is this, and this, but most importantly, she's very kind. And she has a certain sweetness in her heart, even if it's not a normal way people are sweet. Mm-hmm. There's something about the way I want to be sweet and kind to people. I just want people to feel seen and heard around me. I want to inspire others. I'm no celebrity. I'm no, I didn't lose my leg in war and go and like run a race or something. I'm not that kind of inspiration, but if I can find some way to inspire even somebody who's just never met me before or meets me for the first time and feels some sort of inspiration and they felt heard around me, that's my goal in everyday life. So by the time I'm 30, I would want people to have that mindset about me.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Thanks.
All right, so that was the end of our video. Let's thank Anoush for being my 21-year-old. She was fantastic. She's lovely.
Ditto.
Thank you. But yeah, that was it. Catch you in my next video. That was it. Okay.
Hope it makes sense.
Scene. Okay.
Do you have any more questions?
That was it for this video.
If for some crazy reason anybody wants to learn more about me, for some crazy reason, you're crazy. Just slide in the DMs.
Is your Instagram like?
It's Anoush_stam.
Is it unprivate or is it private?
It is on private.
Okay.
But I'll accept you.
Okay.
I'll follow back too. Something that I learned in my 20s. Hey Dad, we're filming a YouTube video. You can cross that out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.